The nexus of politics and terror. The nexus of politics and terror. The nexus of politics and terror.
The only way they can pass this bill is by creating and sustaining a panic atmosphere. That atmosphere is not justified. Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no. That's what I call fear-mongering. Unjustified. Proven wrong. We've got a week, we've got 2 weeks to write a good bill. The only way to pass a bad bill, keep the panic pressure on.
The nexus of politics and terror. The nexus of politics and terror.
Prominent office building in Washington housing the local headquarters of ABC News was evacuated today after workmen found a suspicious powder in the basement. Aspirin. The airport in Long Beach, California was evacuated today after the discovery of a suspicious device, a video game. Our third story in the countdown, you can't do anything but evacuate, and you can't keep it a secret when you do. But once again, if the government finds something initially suspicious in, say, airport baggage, does it then have the right to reveal its suspicions without revealing the later innocent explanations? What was theorized and proclaimed a possible terrorist dry run turns out to have been a leaky cold pack inside the luggage of a woman in her 60s. And once again, we must examine the nexus of politics and terror. The term we employ is the nexus of politics and terror, to assume that counter-terror measures in this country are not being influenced by politics. It is imperative that we examine each of the coincidences of timing since 2002, including the one last week, in which excoriating comments by leading Republicans about leading Democrats just happened to precede arrests in a vast purported terror plot, arrests that we now know were carried out on a timeline requested not by the British nor necessitated by the evidence, but requested by this government. The nexus of politics and terror, please judge for yourself.
Last Thursday on this news hour, I referred to the latest terror threat, the reported bomb plot against the New York City subway system, in terms of its timing. President Bush's speech about the war on terror had come earlier the same day, as had the breaking news of the possible indictment of Karl Rove in the CIA leak investigation. I suggested that preliminary research suggested that in the last 3 years there had been about 13 similar coincidences. A political downturn for the administration, followed by a terror event, a change in alert status, an arrest, a warning. Our third story in the countdown tonight, the nexus of politics and terror. We figured we had better put that list of coincidences on the public record. On May 10th of this year, after his resignation, former Secretary of Homeland Security Ridge looked back on the terror alert level changes that were issued on his watch. Mr. Ridge said, "More often than not, we were the least inclined to raise it. Sometimes we disagreed with the intelligence assessment. Sometimes we thought even the intelligence was good. You don't necessarily put the country on alert. There were times when some people were really aggressive about raising it, and we said, for that, the nexus of politics and terror. Please judge for yourself."
Number 1, May 18, 2002. The first details of the President's daily briefing of August 6, 2001 are revealed, including its title, Bin Laden Determined to Strike in U.S. The same day, another memo is discovered, revealing the FBI knew of men with links to Al-Qaeda training at an Arizona flight school. The memo was never acted upon. Questions about 9/11 intelligence failures are swirling. May 20th, 2002.
The terror warnings from the highest levels of the federal government tonight are just
2 days later, FBI Director Mueller declares that another terrorist attack is inevitable.
Tonight, there are even more warnings.
The next day, the Department of Homeland Security issues warnings of attacks against railroads nationwide and against New York City landmarks like the Brooklyn Bridge and the Statue of Liberty.
Number 2, Thursday, June 6, 2002. I never really anticipated this kind of impact.
Colleen Rowell, the FBI agent who tried to alert her superiors to the specialized flight training taken by Zacarias Moussaoui, whose information suggests the government missed a chance to break up the 9/11 plot. testifies before Congress. Senate Intelligence Committee Chair Graham says Rowley's testimony has inspired similar pre-9/11 whistleblowers. Monday, June 10th, 2002, 4 days later.
We have disrupted an unfolding terrorist plot.
Speaking from Russia, Attorney General John Ashcroft reveals that an American named Jose Padilla is under arrest, accused of plotting a radiation bomb attack in this country. In fact, Padilla had by this time already been detained for more than 1 month.
Number 3, February 5th, 2003. Secretary of State Powell tells the United Nations Security Council of Iraq's concealment of weapons, including his 18 mobile biological weapons laboratories, justifying a UN or U.S. first strike. Many in the UN are doubtful. Months later, much of the information proves untrue. February 7th, 2003. 2 days later, as anti-war demonstrations continue to take place around the globe, take some time to prepare for emergency. Homeland Security Secretary Ridge cites credible threats by Al-Qaeda and raises the terror alert level to orange. 3 days after that, Fire Administrator David Paulson, who had become the acting head of FEMA after the Hurricane Katrina disaster, advises Americans to stock up on plastic sheet and duct tape to protect themselves against radioactive or biological attack. Number 4, July 23rd, 2003. The White House admits that the CIA, months before President State of the Union attack, expressed strong doubts about the Iraqi attempts to divide uranium from Niger. On the 24th, the Congressional report on Iraq attack issue, criticizing the government of Orwell, reveals that FBI reporters have been raiding the troops to protect them. It concludes that Iraq had no intelligence and 28 pages of reports armed up with American
what I feel, I can't say, but my love is up for you anytime of day. It's all love that you need, and I'll try my best to make everything succeed. Tell me what is my life got to love? Tell me who am I without you by my side? All I know I can do if I give my love now to everyone like you. It's all love that you need, and I'll try my best to make everything succeed. Tell me what is my life got to love? Tell me who am I without you by my side? Tell me what is my life got to love? Tell me who am I without you by my side?
A Homeland Security spokesman says the intelligence upon which the disclosure is based is of doubtful credibility.
What I feel,
Are these coincidences signs that the government's approach has worked because none of the announced threats have ever materialized? Are they signs that the government has not yet mastered how and when to inform the public? Is there, in addition to the fog of war, a simple, rather benign fog of intelligence? But if merely a reasonable case can be made that any of these juxtapositions of events are more than just coincidences, it underscores the need for questions to be asked in this country. Questions about what is prudence and what is fear-mongering. Questions about which is the threat of death by terror and which is the terror of threat.